My name is Michael Tichford and I'm the Council's Head of Economic Development. This is for a transition period only, the length of which is still to be agreed. Bob is going to be primarily working on the Local Enterprise Partnership agenda, so his new role title is as LEP Consultant. However, he will, for a shorter interim period, also be covering property services, as that post is without the Strategic Assets Manager. My role as Head of Economic Development is taking on much of Bob's previous role, but it's primarily responsible for economic development and regeneration within the Cannock Chase area. It's responsible for planning, so development control and policy planning. Also property services and building control, which is a shared service with Stafford Borough Council. My background, starting off at the very beginning, I actually started as a mechanical engineering apprenticeship. Fairly soon learned that wasn't for me, although I completed 3 or 4 years of that. My first role with local authority was as a trainee town planner with Slough Borough Council. Since then I've worked in a whole variety of public sector settings, and I suppose significant change for me in terms of this current role was in the mid-1990s. I moved from planning into the newly formed economic development team with Havant Borough Council on the south coast adjacent to Portsmouth. From then on I've worked in a number of economic development and town planning roles, and in recent years become more of a operations manager generally. My last role was with Walsall Metropolitan Borough Council. I was responsible for planning, economic development, property services and housing. The thing I enjoy particularly about it is making a difference, and I particularly enjoy working with teams. I enjoy working in partnerships, of which there are very many in this area of work. It's working with people, basically. Challenges, I suppose one has to start with the most significant challenge that the public sector has, which is to maintain service levels with the ever-increasing amount of funding reduction that we're having to confront. Alongside that, clearly in an area like Cannock, there are economic challenges. So at the same time as we have reduced funding, we have increasing demand. Cannock's done very well in recent years, though. It is starting to restructure its economy. People are getting themselves trained and available for the work that is now starting to come back on stream. But I suppose in terms of the external challenges, what I'm here with colleagues to work on and address economic issues, primary for me is a focus around people, assisting people to get work, provide them, support them in getting the right skills in order to be able to access work, and supporting businesses so that we can grow the number of jobs that are available for local people. So I think as my services have a key role in economic development and in planning, they're mainstream to achieving the Council's corporate objectives of better places and prosperity. One of the key objectives for me is to work over the coming year with colleagues and with the corporate team to make sure, as far as we're able, that we realise how all the services across the Council and its partners can work with us to achieve economic outcomes, whatever the service it is that they're particularly providing.